Okay, at this point, we have finished our part program with what we feel are the correct feeds and speeds. So let's say our target is of 10 parts per minute or 6 seconds. And here, as we can see, with our 7.19 seconds or 8.3 parts per minute, we are still a little bit too slow. So the purpose of this video is to see how we can speed up the cycle time without pushing our feeds and speeds, but by optimizing our different operations where need be. So let's do it. First of all, let's identify where we need to improve. Let's look for what is controlling our cycle. Here I can see that this operation combined between the cutoff and the backwork is our leading time, as they take all the time from the starting of my cycle to the end of my cycle. So let's already look at the speeds, as we haven't changed anything. So far, we just input a speed. So maybe we can increase that speed because we are probably below the cutting speed that we can apply to it. So let's look here. Yeah, 3,000 for cutoff. It's a little bit low. So let's go, let's say 4,400. And for the backwork, I can do the same. I can go to 4,400. I could even do more for the backwork, but for the moment, let's see if that is enough. I say okay. And now I want to generate and see what happens. So we can see that we are already a little faster, 6.6 seconds, but still we need to reach that 6-second target. So let's see where else we can act. As we can see here, our cutoff operation, I have some time here available before I pick up my part. And then I can see that my actual cutoff is a little bit too long. So let's see what we can do here on the 12.3 operation. I double click to open. And then I see that I have my default value where I go up to 10 millimeter. So if we look at the drawing of the part, we can move down to 5.5 millimeters and still having the part that holds well on the bar. So this is the pre-cut. I say, okay, I generate just a look. It's better. Now let's see my cutoff, the actual cutoff. I double click and open, and I see that my cutoff tool goes all the way to 0 before I remove my part. But it's going to 0. It's not necessary because I have a true hole on my part, diameter 4. So I could simply go down to 3.5 millimeters. And then here I have a value of 0.08 given by the variable 3002. I can just maybe push it a little bit, just for a little bit, for the duration of that phase. I can push it a little bit to 0.1. And this will separate the part. So I generate now. Well, still the same. Anyway, so now I see that it's my operation 2 that is leading the time. I can see that TBDeco has generated a constraint from the end of my operation to the deceleration of the spindle for the translation of the barrel. So you have to know that when the barrel indexes, the spindles are shifting. So if I look here at my spindle speeds, I can see that we have different speeds as per the different operations. So probably from going from 4,900 to 5,700 and so forth, that takes time. So this is why we have our variable 3033 that allows us to set an average speed between all the operations for the switching of the spindles. If I look at 3033, I still have my default value. And let's see, I try to put an average speed of all my spindles, so they have less to decelerate or to accelerate when they switch from position to position. So let's say I put an average of 4,300 RPM. Enter. And then I say OK, and I generate. Well, I have improved. Here, I haven't pushed any feed, but I am only 1/10 away from our target. So now let's see where we can improve further. It's still my operation 2 leading. The others are shorter. So I need to do something on my operation 2 here. So here I have an infeed tool that does a rough and a finish. I chose a tool, if I look here, that is 2 millimeter wide. So maybe it's a little bit too weak and I could use a little bit of a wider tool, which would also not only make my tool stronger, but also decrease the travel of the tool. So here on my second geometry, I will put, let's say, minus 52.4, which will give me a tool width of 2.4 millimeter, which is one of the standard insert size that you will find on the market anyway. So I validate this and let's generate again to see what happens. There we go. We have reached our 6-second target, which is 10 parts per minute cycle time. Without really pushing any feeds except the speeds for the cutoff and the back work. We only have pushed a feed on the main cutoff, and that's about it. So this was a good example on how to play with the different parameters to optimize your cycle time. Now, let's not forget to save our works here, and we will go through the next video to different other topics of tips and tricks. Okay.